From the Berkshires to the Sound, from wherever you live in MLB America, this is Inside the Parker. You give us 22 minutes and we'll give you the scoop on Major League Baseball. Now, here's Baseball Hall of Fame voter number 57.
You have another hot take.
Will not NOT make the playoffs.
Shohei me the money.
Rob Parker.
Come on! I've been covering Major League Baseball for almost 40 years now. In New York, in Cincinnati, in Detroit, in LA. I love this game. Let's go! Welcome into the podcast, and I'm your host, Rob Parker. And what a show we have for you today. Before we even get started, remember, press this button, the subscribe button, so that you're always here, always up to date with all the best coverage of Major League Baseball. As you know, I've been covering baseball since 1986. I love the sport. This is the place for your baseball fix. All right, coming up on the program today, Detroit Tigers left fielder Riley Greene. Also coming up, we'll have MLB Network's Brian Kenny. That and much more. Let's go.
Batter up! To lead off, it's Getting Robbed.
And keep them up.
Rob's hot take on the three biggest stories in Major League Baseball. Number one.
I know. There were baseball fans who were belly aching about the Dodgers and the Cubs starting in that Tokyo series in Japan. The games came on at 3 a.m. Pacific, 6 a.m. Eastern. But guess what, guys? Let's be real. When you have great Japanese players, there's no way that baseball is going to miss an opportunity to enhance its game and its brand to so many Asian people all over. So when you have Ohtani and Sasaki and Hamamoto, you're going to do that. It just makes business sense. And I understand it. Everybody wants the opening day to be on American soil, and we'll have that coming up on Thursday with opening day. But we know baseball is about business and money as well, and this just made good business sense.
Number two.
The biggest story in Major League Baseball coming into the 2025 season isn't whether or not the Dodgers are good or could win the World Series. I mean, on paper, how can you not look at that team and not think that they're not going to win the World Series? After all, they won and beat the Yankees last year in 5 games, and they didn't have any pitching. They had injuries, all kinds of stuff, and somehow they put together a pitching staff with glue and tape and gum, and they won a World Series. And now they've bolstered their rotation. We talked about Sasaki. We talked about Ohtani returning to the mound. Blake Snell was signed as a free agent. They bolstered their bullpen. It's just so many pieces that the Dodgers now have. But they have to beat history. And there are a lot of people, surprisingly, not picking the Dodgers to win the World Series because no team has repeated in 25 years, not since the 2000 New York Yankees. They won in 98, 99, and 2000. And when you talk about National League teams, get this. No National League team has repeated as a World Series champ since the 1975-76 Cincinnati Reds. Is this on? Did you hear that? I mean, outrageous. Baseball is very weird. You could get knocked out in the first round. You could win 110 games like maybe the Dodgers will and lose in a series. We've seen this team lose in a first-round series when Mookie Betts and Freddie Freeman went 1 for 21 or something in the series, and they lost. So it's not impossible, but this will be interesting to see how good this Dodger team is, and do they buck the trend that we know has happened in baseball for a long time.
Number three.
Here we go. My 2025 World Series prediction. And I know I was wrong. I originally picked the Dodgers and then switched over to the Yankees. I didn't think the Dodgers had enough pitching last year in 2024. But this year, here we go. And I will be in that group that says the Dodgers will not, N-O-T, make it to the World Series, even to try to have a chance to win and the repeat. I say something goes wrong along the way, and they do not do it, and the history of baseball stays intact of teams not repeating over 25 years. So I'm going to go with the San Diego Padres. I know I pick the Padres all the time. Last year they had the Dodgers down 3-1 and then couldn't score another run and wind up getting knocked out. I think this year they complete the job. I'm going to go with the Padres off the beaten path. And another one, I know anybody who's followed this podcast for the last few years, I always pick the Yankees and the Padres in the World Series, and guess what? I'm picking it again. I know that they don't have Juan Soto. I know that they don't have Garrett Cole. But thank God they signed Max Fried. I mean, he's an ace at the top of the rotation. When I look at the American League, I see a lot of flawed teams. It's hard for me to look at the Red Sox and think they're going to do it, or the Baltimore Orioles, or the Toronto Blue Jays, because I'm thinking of a team in the AL East. And I still have to go back to the Yankees. And I'm still going to believe that either they will play well or go out and get something that they need at the trade deadline to help them along. So I'm going to pick the Padres over the New York Yankees in the World Series for the 2025 championship. Don't hold me to it, but if I'm right, trust me, you'll know all about it.
Here comes the big interview. Listen and learn.
Oh, it's so good.
Welcome to Inside the Parker. Rob Parker with Tigers left fielder Riley Greene. Riley, thanks for joining us here on the podcast.
Yes, thank you for having me.
And happy opening day. Here you are in Los Angeles with the Tigers coming off an exciting season last year, postseason. Just your thoughts on the upcoming season.
Super excited. We got a really good team. Team chemistry's there. It's super high, and we're ready to go. And we're all excited to get this season started.
How about the idea of you guys have a great run? You go back and shore up your pitching. You get Jack Flaherty back. You go out on the free agent market and get Gleyber Torres. Tells you the Tigers love what they saw last year, but were willing to invest in that. What did you think of those moves?
Oh yeah, they're awesome. Jack's awesome. He was here with us last year for a little bit, and he really helped this team get to where we were. And then the addition of Gleyber too. I mean, Glaber's an awesome player. He plays second base very well, and he hits the ball super well. So, we're excited to get the season started with him.
How about you? Last year was an all-star, your first all-star, 24 home runs, 74 RBIs. Did you feel like you took it to another level last year?
Oh yeah, I was just trying to focus on keeping my body healthy and just getting good pitches to hit and taking my walks when they gave them to me and just trying not to chase and just trying to swing at good pitches.
Your batting average went down a little bit, but your home runs went up big time. Was that by design? Did that just happen? Or were you looking to hit more home runs?
I would say I was just trying to get better pitches to hit. Really, that was my main goal, and just making sure I was getting a pitch I could, really get in the air and really, hit hard.
Our guest is Riley Greene from the Detroit Tigers, joining us here opening day here at Dodger Stadium. The division that you guys played in is not easy. Teams have all improved. You still got the Twins, you still got the Guardians. How do you feel like you guys fit in that?
I feel like we fit in very well. We know what these teams got, and we know how to beat them. We play them a lot, and once we get to that division play, we gotta turn it up and win baseball games.
I want to get back to the postseason and you shocked a lot of people. Were you shocked by the team that was put together and what was inside the clubhouse, or not?
No, I was not. I had full confidence in this team. We had the players, we had the team chemistry. We had a lot of things going for us, and we just played hard every night. We played as a team.
And how good is it when you have a pitcher at the top of your rotation? Tarek Skubal, American League Cy Young Award winner, as good as anybody out there. And when you put him on the mound, you got to feel confident that you guys have a shot every time he touches the mound.
Yeah, no, we know we're put in the best possible position when he's on the mound every single night, and he's the best there is. He gives us the confidence to win baseball games when he's out there, and we love playing behind him and hitting when he's on the mound too.
And last thing about you, in the offseason, what do you work on? Okay, you made the All-Star team, your home runs went up.
you played really well. Was it something you said to yourself, I want to do this better, I want to work on that better? What was your offseason like?
It was just getting the body in a good spot just to stay healthy this year. That was the main goal, and I kind of kept everything else the same, but making sure the body was in a good spot.
Teams make the playoffs one year, they don't always make them the next year in baseball. We've seen that. Last year, the Diamondbacks and the Rangers both didn't make the playoffs after going to the World Series. It's hard to continue that, streak of making the playoffs, isn't it?
Yeah, no, last year was last year. It was awesome, but we got to focus on this year and focus on the things we can do to win baseball games, the things we can do to get better. And we just got to play hard and try to win baseball games.
All right, Riley Greene from the Detroit Tigers. Thanks for joining us here on Inside the Park, and the best of luck to you this season.
Thank you.
In case you missed Rob Parker on the MLB Network, here's his latest appearance on MLB Now.
The showdown is not meant to cause offense or harm. The viewer acknowledges any reliance on the accuracy or completeness of said content should be done at their own discretion. The host apologizes in advance for any affront as a result of personal attacks.
Time for another season of the Showdown. Brian Kenny here. We welcome in Rob Parker, who will be with us every single week because Rob is known for his outrageous predictions that, shockingly enough, often come true. I'll give you credit, Rob. Welcome back to the show.
Thanks, BK. You know me. I'm always coming out swinging. I'm never going to hit a weak ground ball at all.
For a pundit, you are your exit velo. You don't care about the result. You're going to swing hard. If you whiff, you whiff, which I'm giving you credit. Last year, you did not whiff. You came right out and said Diamondbacks, Rangers, the two pennant-winning teams, would not make the playoffs, you said last year, and you were right. You were barely right, but you were right. I'm giving you credit. There you go. All right, Rob.
I love it. That's it. Here we go. We got more.
Give it to me. Go ahead. Give me your first prediction.
I know you're excited about the Red Sox. A lot of people are. Garrett Crochet, whenever you could pick up a pitcher like that at the top of your rotation, a lefty with all that great stuff, I get why people are excited. But there are a lot of other issues that I'm not thrilled about when you talk about the Red Sox. Look at their bullpen. I mean, Hendricks and Chapman. I mean, are those the golden guys? I'll tell you this, Brian, right now, the pregame meal in the bullpen is decaf coffee, sodium-free bacon, and a chest X-ray. I mean, really? Are you going to win with that? Two old guys in the bullpen.
Yeah, all right. That's it. So what do you say? You're saying they won't make the postseason. Red Sox will not make the postseason. Is that your prediction?
I am predicting they will not, N-O-T, make the playoffs. I still like the Yankees and Orioles better.
Yeah, I think the Red Sox make the postseason. I think they're a team on the rise. As I just chronicled, look, it's a wide open field, right? There's a lot of things that can happen. But Crochet has been a monster in the preseason. Buehler has looked very good. He also sets the tone. They build innings for that club. That's what they lacked last year. Bregman, even though I can't say $40 million is steep, he's an excellent addition, a very baseball-y guy, good contact skills. I'm not saying he's great, but he's a great addition for a team that already has like Wilyer Abreu and Jaron Duran and a lot of good young pieces. Like Christian Campbell now wins a spot. Roman Anthony's on the way. They've got real position strength there, Rob.
Well, let me say this. Bregman would still be with the Astros if he was Alex Bregman of past. And the other thing, Walker Buehler, I saw him last year up close in L.A. I know he pitched better in the World Series and the playoffs and a couple
spots.
He's
going to be a different guy now. You saw a different guy in the playoffs. Yeah.
He was bad, though, in L.A., and I might take Ferris Bueller over him right now.
Yeah, no, you're way off. He was much, much better. He struggled during the regular season. All right, you're also saying Juan Soto will struggle this year with the Mets. Really?
Yes. Yeah, you know what? I think that sometimes you think you could just plug and play players and it's just going to be great. He was not great in San Diego. I know he made one All-Star team there. He was not great in San Diego. That didn't really work out for him there.
Yeah, briefly. Okay, I know. I'm with you. He took a dip. He took a dip. But if there's one guy you can plug in for the next, 4 years, Rob, at the plate anyway, it's this guy. His worst year, he had 135 walks and 96 strikeouts. That's his worst year. His worst year, he had a 401 on base. So, no, Rob, I cannot imagine Juan Soto being bad for the Mets this year. Carlos Beltran had a bad first year with the Mets. Francisco Lindor was not great with the Mets first year, but not this guy. No way.
Yeah,
no way.
I'm looking at the history of the Mets when guys first get there. and it's not good usually the first year. And Francisco Lindor is a perfect example who really struggled. He got the big money, got there. Mets weren't winning. And you got to remember, this is a franchise that hasn't won a World Series since Moby Dick was a guppy. 1986 is a long time.
Right, so you're right. Just to tell people, full disclosure, you're from Queens, so you've seen Mets free agents, guys who are great the year before, go to the Mets and just die. Like that has happened. That is the history. There's like a whole history of guys who have gone there and have been awful, including Beltran, who eventually was excellent, but year one was terrible. I'm saying that will not happen. This guy at the plate is too consistent, Rob. It's not happening.
And the other thing, too, last year in Yankee Stadium was perfect. He came out of the box with the game-winning hit. Game one against the Astros. I was in Houston for the opener, and then playing in Yankee Stadium, hit over 40 home runs for the first time. The crowd there, they loved him.
Crowd is going to be big here, too. He's going to play fine there.
When Rob was a newspaper columnist, he lived by this motto: if I'm writing, I'm ripping. Let's bring in a writer or broadcaster, old or new.
Now let's welcome into the podcast Brian Kenny, of course, the host of MLB Now on MLB Network, every day, Monday through Friday at noon Eastern. And, of course, every Thursday, I get a chance to hang out with BK. Welcome to the podcast. How are you?
Now I'm your guest.
That's right.
Now you set the tone. We'll see how that goes.
No doubt about it. Well, let's start here with the Tokyo series, of course. Got the 2025 season underway. Dodgers win both of those games against the Cubs in Tokyo. Just some thoughts on it.
I mean, the Dodgers are crazy deep this year, Rob. You know, I'm big on them year to year. I don't think people realize they're averaging 104 wins a season over the last, I think it's 8 years. And that's prorated with the short season. So, and yet, I don't know how you feel. I feel like this is the first time they come into a season with just a stacked bullpen and a stacked rotation. They've been great for a while, obviously, and they've had a bunch of different versions of themselves over the past couple of years in the Dave Roberts era. But I mean, they brought back Blake Trinan, then they brought in Kirby Yates, they bring in Tanner Scott. They already have Vesia and the rest of the gang. They're so deep. And then imagine if they just went out and got Blake Snell. It'd be like, whoa, that's a big addition.
Right.
But they got Roki Sasaki, too. It's like they're so deep now. The only question is, I think we have a little Dodgers fatigue because they won last year. They got over the top. Because there was, it was frustrating for them. They were this super team, and they kind of weren't winning. They only won the one in the short season. Maybe you blasted them for that. I think you were among the group saying, "Is that
I was? You already know it, right?"
Is that a real World Series title? I was going, "Oh, Rob." But now it's funny. It's almost like it's human nature. They're so stacked. They're so great that we're like, "Oh, well, we'll see what happens. They'll be really good." No, they won 98 last year, limping in. And we were predicting 115 wins. I think this is the year, even in a tough division, they're looking at 110 wins.
How about this, though? No team has repeated in Major League Baseball in 25 years since that Yankee team that won in 98, 99, 2000, okay? And then no National League team hasn't repeated since the 75, 76 Cincinnati Reds. What do you make of that? And the Dodgers going to break that?
Who knows? It's a whole new ball game. We know. I'll keep this short. It's a tournament. Anybody can get knocked out quickly in a tournament. The Dodgers were, as you know, dead to rights last year, down to the Padres. And we've seen every year. 2 years ago, it was the Braves, best team in baseball, 100-something wins, knocked out in the first round. We've seen the top teams, the Dodgers the year before that, top team in baseball. I think there were 111 wins, knocked out. So they could get knocked out in the first round. I mean, you get in the tournament, it's baseball. Even if they have this great rotation, this deep bullpen, you can get beat. So no, zero guarantees except that they get in. And they are likely, I'd be surprised if they weren't in a division series having won a division.
How about the Yankees, who, of course, were in the World Series, lost to the Dodgers? They got major issues. Obviously, they lost Juan Soto to the Mets in the offseason. And then Garrett Cole, their ace, is out for the year with Tommy John. But they did, add some arms and some pieces. Do you still like the Yankees or not?
Well, I like them. I think they went from the favorite to they're in the bunch now. I think the loss of Cole, that lineup is a little light. Like unless Bellinger has some sort of resurgence to 2 years ago, which is very possible. He's still young. He can still hit, but he wasn't great last year. He was good. He's a good all around player. Jazz Chisholm, I think he was an excellent Yankee. I think he'll continue to blossom. They'll be a little more athletic this year. They'll be good, but as far as the rest of the AL East, I think they're a shade better than the rest, but not much. And possibly the Orioles are better. Red Sox are much better. I think the Blue Jays are a very good defensive team. They'll be decent. Rays, did I mention the Rays? This is a good division, and you got to win day by day. And I think the loss of Cole is kind of an exponential loss. They build off his innings, and now they won't have those.
Our guest is Brian Kenny, of course, the host of MLB Now on MLB Network. Monday through Friday, noon Eastern. Let's go for some player I should pay attention to in 2025 and maybe a team I should look a little closer at in 2025 as well.
You know who I like? I like as a bounce back player, Bo Bichette. People are down on Bo Bichette. He had a miserable year, admittedly. I like success, though, Rob. When you see a guy that has never failed at any level and he has one bad year, that happens. I think Bo Bichette, I had him in my top 10 among shortstops. I'm top 10 right now. A lot of people were thinking, he's no good. Can he field the position? I think he's a great player. My young up-and-coming player is James Wood of the Nationals. I think he's a complete package. He hits the ball very well. He has very good process.
I love that swing, left-handed.
Yeah,
oh, my God. Love it.
He's huge. He's athletic. He's focused. I covered his father in high school basketball, Rob. Kenny Wood. Kenny Wood played for East Hampton High School on Long Island, was the New York State all-time leading scorer. I covered him at high school. And then of course, Kenny Wood went to play for Richmond Spiders. They beat Syracuse in the tournament. Sean Casey was the batting champion at NCAA batting champion playing for Richmond at the time. So he knows Kenny Wood. He was telling me all about this kid coming up for the Nationals. I'm like, oh my God, I know his dad. Anyway, this kid can really hit and good process numbers. His pitch selection is good. Plate discipline is good. Smokes the ball. I think he's going to be an outstanding player. A lot of good young players like Dylan Cruz for the Nationals. And my not a surprise team, but a team that I think is going to be better than a lot of people anticipate are the Red Sox. Okay. I think they're flush with young position players, and now they've added just enough to their rotation to be more viable in that division.
Last thing, last word, World Series prediction, two teams and who wins?
You want a World Series prediction today?
Yes, I do.
This is so you. This is so you. This is you, and then you want to play it back if you're right and ignore it if you're wrong.
You know I'm going to hold you to it. Absolutely.
All right. All right, hold on, I gotta think. All right, I'll go Diamondbacks in the National League. All right. No, that's probably not going to happen. All right. Diamondbacks, Red Sox.
Wow. Now that's off the board. I love it. Brian Kenny, make sure you check him out on MLB Network, his show MLB Now, Monday through Friday at noon Eastern. BK, always a pleasure. I'll see you on the show. Can't wait.
Rob, I look forward to it. Take care.
Now, here's the best from MLBBro.com.
So much of my love for baseball started at an early age. And my family knew how much I loved baseball. Even my mom, who was a stickler for school and about getting your work done. But when I was in junior high school, my mom used to write a fake doctor's note for me so that I could leave school early, so that I could get home to watch the Mets on opening day, I had to see the first pitch of the season on TV. I couldn't come home in the third or fourth inning. I had to see it from the beginning. And back then, I was a Mets fan. I wasn't a reporter. I was a fan. Opening day that stands out to me the most dates back to college, 1983. I was a student at Southern Connecticut State University. Me and my three buddies, we hopped in the car. We barely had money for tickets, but we had to see Tom Seaver return to the Mets. We drove from New Haven, Connecticut, and I can remember standing up in our seats in the bleachers and watching Tom Seaver walk from the bullpen and to the mound. What a moment it was!
Meet the Mets, step right up and greet the Mets.
MLBBro.com, covering black and brown major leaguers.
No! This is baloney!
It's the Parker Pushback.
Shut the up!
Here, Rob tackles the outlandish takes in Major League Baseball.
You idiot! Shut up!
Today, I'm pushing back on all those people on social media who were beating up former NFL quarterback Rodney Peete for catching a foul ball in Game 2 of the Tokyo series, right? He caught it over Max Muncy. Guess what? Rodney Peete didn't do anything wrong. He had a glove that was provided by the stadium, and the foul ball came. He didn't reach over and block Max Muncy or catch the ball over his glove or do something that was not within the rules. The ball was in the stands. He reached out. He got it, caught it. In fact, if you watch the video closely, Max Muncy missed the ball. Even if Rodney Peete didn't catch it, Max Muncy would not have caught it. Rodney Peete played football and baseball at USC. This guy can handle the glove, and we saw what he could do. Get off of Rodney Peete. He was entitled to that ball, and he caught that ball.
Make way for Weekend Wagers.
Yo, it's Sean Bo. Fire up those bed naps. Let's go. Let's make a little change on this first weekend as we visit the Los Angeles Dodgers, the reigning World Series champs, as Blackjack Flaherty is now on the opposing side, now pitching for the Detroit Tigers as he takes on his former teammate Yoshi Yamamoto. Now, although both teams have outstanding offenses, I think this pitching matchup will truly shine. Go ahead and take the under 7 total runs. Right now, you can get it in some sports books for plus 100 odds. That's right, plus money in this great matchup. And for that, let's go ahead and stay with this series for Saturday's game between the Dodgers and the Tigers as well. And in this matchup, I think that the former World Series champions will be too much to handle. Go ahead and take the reigning chaps minus 1.5 over the Detroit Tigers. Sasaki's over 100-mile-per-hour fastballs will be too much for the Detroit offense. And for more, stick and stay with MLBBro.com inside the Parker.
Hi, I'm Rob Parker, the founder and editor of MLBBro.com, where we cover black and brown major leaguers. 75% of the content will be about the current black and brown stars in Major League Baseball. The other 25% will take a look back at some of the great black players. On the site, there'll be a ton of great written stories and videos and features.
MLB Bro, because you need to know.
MLB fans, when it comes to Major League Baseball, no one covers it better than the Odd Couple.
Fact. I am the baseball king.
First, second, third, and home.
We're leading shows with baseball. Game over.
They don't watch it.
They don't know the game.
All in one place.
Let's go!
Right here on Fox Sports Radio.
I love baseball.
In the words of New York TV legend, the late Bill Jorgensen, thanking you for your time this time until next time. Rob Parker, out.
He can't get it. This could be an inside to Parker.
See you next week. Same bat time, same bat station.